Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening from wherever you are tuning in from. My name is Angeline Constantino, and I am the founder, CEO of Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. And in today's podcast episode, we are going to be talking about the 5 biggest fears that are holding you back from living your happiest life. So if you are watching this broadcast right now, live on my YouTube channel, please hashtag live in the comments and please let me know where you are tuning in from. And if you are watching the replay, obviously, please hashtag replay. So what I would like you to do is this. Please type yes in the chat if you want to make 2025 your biggest year ever, free from fear, okay? And I was inspired to go live and record my podcast episode about this because I understand that a lot of people right now are feeling this. So this broadcast today is to give you some encouragement and also empower you, because that is what my podcast is all about. So if you would like to, so please like and subscribe to my podcast. You can find me on Spotify, Google, Apple, and all the live streams. And also, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. And I am celebrating a win this morning as I have been getting new subscribers. So if you want to continue to receive resources that will equip and empower you on your healing journey, please go to my website, letsbreakthesilence.com. You will see a pop-up to subscribe to my weekly newsletters. And today I launched a newsletter this morning all about it. It was just so empowering, and I've received a lot of good feedback about surrounding yourselves with, the right people in your life. And this, and I do have a community. So my mission and vision is to empower and heal women worldwide who have experienced domestic violence or trauma, providing them with the tools, resources, and support they need to reclaim their lives and thrive. In other words, to reclaim your power. So today, I am going to be talking about the 5 biggest fears that are holding you back from living your happiest life. So please type yes in the chat here if you are feeling this, if you are still having that fear, because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what. God, we are not meant to live a fearful life. And I have discovered 5. So these are the 5 biggest fears that are holding you back from living your happiest life. So how many of you are feeling this? How many of you are having trouble breaking free from the past? Because guess what? Your past does not define you. It does not define you. And how many people here in, whether you're watching live or the replay, how many of you are feeling crippled by fear? Because I can tell you this, especially for women, this is a challenge that I had to overcome. And I know for some women and men too, these are challenges that people are facing going into 2025, because guess what? We have about 8 weeks left, and then before you know it, January will be here. So let me give you some tools and strategies. So the biggest fear, so the first thing is, and I'm going to be referencing my notes, so this way I don't get off track, is the biggest fear that people are facing is compareritis, meaning, so let me ask you this. How many of you don't feel that you're measuring up to influencers? Okay. How many of you feel that compareritis is the thief of joy? Okay. Comparison is the thief of joy. Okay. How many of you are scrolling on social media just mindlessly, aimlessly comparing your life to someone else, meaning, these celebrities that you feel that you don't measure up to, influencers. Okay. Now, let me just educate you on this. Number one, comparison is the thief of joy. Okay. So we are all on this journey together. So who cares? Who cares? Because once you release yourself from that fear of comparing yourself to someone else, okay, let's say you're comparing yourself to an author, a speaker, someone like myself, how many of you are actually living the life that is yours? Because guess what? This is something that I want to share. Guess what? That's their own journey, okay? Number one, they had to work very, very hard to get where they want to be. And speaking for myself, I had to work very, very hard to escape domestic violence and not compare myself to other people. I surrounded myself with mentors and coaches who believed in me. And guess what? Their journey is not your journey. We are all on a different journey in life. So once you break free from that compareritis, you are able to step into your true authentic self. So how many of you are looking to stepping into your true authentic self? Please comment true authentic self if you are looking to achieve that. Because once you are able to take off that mask and just live life unapologetically, you will reclaim your power. So measuring yourself up to someone else is the fear of not measuring up. So what do I mean by that? So, like I said, we are all on our own journey. The one thing that we have to do is focus on gratitude and on your wins. And I am a strong believer in celebrating your wins. Write down the list of your wins. Because guess what? Some of you have fought silent battles that you're not talking about. And I've done this myself. I have fought silent battles in my life that I never told anyone about. Okay. Financial struggles during my divorce, financial struggles moving here to Florida. But guess what? I stayed focused. I stayed focused on my plan. I worked my plan. I had to jump through hoops and get out of this compareritis mode that was crippling me from living my best life or my happiest life ever. Okay. So focus on each win, whether it's big or small. So let me give you an example of a win. Okay. An example of a small win is enrolling a new client 2 weeks ago into my Let's Break the Silence signature coaching program, which I do offer for women. Okay. And another win is having a new subscribers. Okay. Enrolling some new subscribers. People actually went on my website after a reel that I made last week, and they decided to subscribe to my newsletter. So now they're receiving my weekly newsletters. Okay. The small wins, because guess what? The small wins lead to the bigger wins in life, but you have to start small and work your way up, whether it's starting a new business, whether it's starting a new hobby, whether, like someone like myself, I was at a vendor event 2 weekends ago, promoting, my coaching programs, and just, if that makes sense. Okay. Networking with people, receiving new contacts, stuff like that. Just those little wins. A little win could be taking a spa day for yourself. Who doesn't love a spa day or a makeover? Who doesn't love makeup? Okay. That's the stuff I mean. So focus on gratitude and journaling every single morning. And I do this without fail. I write down at least 10 to 12 things that I am grateful for. So waking up and feeling gratitude and just feeling the feeling, that gratitude, meditating in the morning, just feeling grateful because you know what? God woke you up to a new day, and God woke you up breathing, enjoying the sunrise, having that cup of coffee, stuff like that. Okay. So that's the first thing. Okay. So the second thing is limiting social media. So what do I mean by that? So how many of you scroll aimlessly on social media? That goes for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. How many of you wake up in the morning and the first thing that you do is pick up your phone and start scrolling on social media? That used to be me. I would scroll for hours on social media. And if you're doing that, that is a recipe that is definitely going to hold you back. No doubt about it. That is going to hold you back because I understand, especially now with TikTok, people are looking for hope, which I completely understand because I was one of those who was looking for hope and encouragement. But you know what it is? That like the comparatitis and the social media, meaning you're consuming content. Now, for myself, I produce content. I will put content up and then I will leave and I will go about my business for the rest of the day. I used to spend 8 hours a day on social media, but now it's like 1 hour a day. And the only reason is because I'm putting myself out there. My brand is growing and evolving, and I am working on projects. So, if social media makes you feel anxious, then I would suggest that you step away from social media for a while. But if it does feed your soul, like myself, social media feeds my soul, then I would encourage you to do that, but on a limited basis. You know what? 1 hour a day is enough. You don't need to be spending time on TikTok, going into other people's lives and staying there for hours and hours and hours and hours, especially for women, because a lot of women are looking for instant gratification and they're looking for love. But the first thing that you have to do is feed your soul and love on yourself. Okay. How many of you feel unworthy when you are scrolling on social media? Please let me know in the comments or in the chat here. How many of you feel unworthy? Because guess what? All that consuming of content, especially if you're in that transition phase, you're trying to build your self-confidence up, that is going to make you feel unworthy, because I know that happened to me. Okay. So what I want you to do is, what I recommend is limit your social media intake. Okay. And follow people who inspire and motivate you. Now, I follow a lot of influencers, a lot of creators, but focus on people who inspire you, not people who are trying to tear you down, okay? And make you unworthy, because that is going to happen. That is going to happen to you. And the last thing that you want is to feel unworthy, because you are worthy of amazing things in your life. And my goal and my mission is to help you take your life back so you can live your happiest lives ever. Okay. So the third thing is, so bear with me for 1 second, is the fear of failure. Okay. How many of you have experienced the fear of failure in your life? Please let me know in the comments if you have experienced fear. And I have experienced fear of failure for many reasons. For instance, building, I know that, in the past, I was in network marketing and I used to be with the health and wellness company that changed my life. And then they changed their name and then they changed their whole affiliate, their whole program to affiliate. I decided to leave that company in 2016 because the vision no longer aligned with my true purpose. And I was successful in building a great team and it fell apart, but I didn't let it define me. I kept going. Okay. So don't allow mistakes to define your life. Let it refine you. Okay. And I know for myself, I wrote a lot of goals down in the beginning of January. And guess what? I haven't achieved all my goals yet. And guess what? Who cares? Because guess what? I'm working on 2025. God made another plan for me. And although I may have suffered some setbacks along the way, every setback makes me more wiser. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. And it's, for me, I've always bounced back from adversity. Okay. So make sure that you give yourself some grace. Okay. This is something that I've struggled with because I can see that, a lot of people or a lot of women are looking for instant gratification. First of all, that doesn't work. Okay. You have to give yourself some grace. So if you made a mistake, or let's say you started a business and it failed, give yourself some grace. That's a time for reflection. You've experienced that. So it's time for some self-reflection. Okay. And guess what? In life, especially now in these times that we live in, no one has it all together, including myself. No one has it all together. No one is perfect. We are a work in progress. We are, like, speaking for myself, I am always working on my skill set, improving my skill set. Maybe there's some mistakes that I made in the past, but guess what? It doesn't define who I am. It doesn't define who I am. And if you've experienced that, let me know in the comments, please. Okay. And also the biggest thing is to detach your emotions from the outcome. Life is all about the journey, not the destination. Okay. We are on this journey together, and applaud yourself for the successes that you've had in your life. Because guess what? We cannot control the outcome, yet we can control the input. Okay. So for example, this morning I took some self-care. I go to a yoga and Tai Chi class every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. It's blocked out in my calendar. And, I had a nice coffee chat with one of my neighbors. She invited me for coffee into her apartment this morning. So, those are small wins. Okay. Those are small wins. And we had a really, really nice conversation. Small wins, self-care, self-compassion. So give yourself some grace and take a step back. Okay. And also the third thing, take small risks. Okay. That is one of the biggest fears that is holding a lot of people back, is taking small risks. Okay. How many of you have struggled with that? If that's you, please let me know in the comments if you have struggled with taking small risks. Okay. Stepping out of your comfort zone, because as you step out of your comfort zone, you start to build your confidence back up. Okay. And success is made of small wins. Now, a win for me is moving to Florida, making that transition and leaving New York and leaving a lot of things behind me, because there were a lot of things there that were holding me back. I didn't want to move. I wanted to stay and everything, but something told me, my intuition. I follow, I am a believer in God, and God led me to another path, and God puts us in places where we can't even see ourselves. So I made the move, and I'm glad that I made the move to Florida for many reasons. Okay. So take those small risks. Okay. And another fear that is holding people back is fear of being invisible and not being seen. Okay. How do you see yourself out there? Because I can tell you this, there are some people who are still afraid of putting themselves out there. Now, a perfect example of that is 2 weeks ago when I decided to put myself out there and participate in the vendor event that was being put on by the apartment complex that I live in. Okay. And people were blown away. People were literally blown away. And I got referrals, I got leads, it's just not all about like the referrals and leads, but just putting myself out there and getting exposure, because I do have coaching services that I offer for women who are divorced and have transitioned out of domestic violence, or just have gotten a divorce because there's no more alignment with their spouse. So, so that's, so what I'm trying to say here is, okay, is that success is made up of small wins. So I had that fear of putting myself out there here, but now I put myself out there. So stop being invisible to people. Okay. Because guess what? Your story, and I talk about this a lot, the power of your voice and the power of sharing your story has a huge impact on people's lives. Your story will impact someone else. Guaranteed. I know that. So shift yourself, make that shift instead of, staying inside all day, watching TV or doing whatever. Write it down, write down exactly what you want to do. Okay. How am I going to step out of my comfort zone? What are the things that I'm going to be tackling in my life that I have never tackled? And one of the things that I'm going to be working on is speaking on stages for 2025. Okay. Because I'm being pulled in that direction. I know for myself that speaking on the stage is what I want to do for so many reasons, because I want to be out there impacting people's lives. And the first stage for me was the podcast. So let me give you an example. 5 years ago, 2 months before COVID happened, I started my podcast because I knew that I had a vision of empowering women, that they can live their happiest lives ever after domestic violence, and they can regain their power back and break free from those past toxic relationships and step into their true authentic self. That is so important. So I started a podcast. It's 5 years, 151 episodes. And so now I'm ready to take myself to the next level. Okay. So make sure that your voice is heard. So we have a voice, and also it's important for you to stand up for yourself. And that goes for standing up for yourself. Maybe there are issues that are happening in the family right now, in your family. And I think, what it is, a lot of people, women, they feel ashamed, and they feel ashamed of actually sharing their story and their struggles. Okay. But it's important to stand up for yourself, because if your own family doesn't support you, then what you have to do is learn to stand up on your own 2 feet without external validation from your family. And I know for myself, that's what I had to do. I literally had to stand up for myself. Okay. And break those generational curses. Because if you're struggling with a family member, guess what? You have to ask yourself, is this going to lift me up or bring me down? But if it's going to bring you down, then you just have to break free and work on yourself. Okay. And I'm going to talk about something in a few minutes. So actually, I'm going to talk about self-compassion. And that is the 5th thing. Practice self-compassion, meaning going out, getting a new haircut, going out for a walk in the park, going to a yoga class, connecting with nature. Now, I go out for walks here every single day to reconnect with nature. I go out every single day to reconnect with nature. Okay. And the last thing is to seek connection through vulnerability, meaning focus on connecting with people on a higher level than you, and focus on creating meaningful, deeper relationships. Okay. And create a safe space. So, because for me, I have created a safe space for women so their voices can be heard. Okay. And if you would like more information on my Facebook group, just drop a comment below and I will add you to my Facebook group. But there are people out there who are fighting silent battles, and we need to, our voices must be heard. And I have created a safe space for women so they can talk about and be vulnerable. Because guess what? There are a lot of women out there who can't trust, or they're struggling with trust issues. And I know that I had struggled with that for a long time. But you know what? Guess what? There's hope. You can find those communities. You can find a safe space community where your voice can be heard. And actually, on Thursdays now, I go to the Women's Ministries Luncheon down here in Stewart at the Salvation Army. Now they want me to speak in 2025. That's a win, meaning, a friend of mine who lives here invited me to speak, and she invited me to a luncheon. They have luncheons every Thursday, and I just love the community. There's strong bondage, meaning we have a strong bond together because we are believers in Christ, and I am a believer in Christ. So, so that is something, I have made a shift in my life too. I am surrounding myself with people who are believers in Christ. Now, I am not going to, for me, it's not looking for external validation, because if someone doesn't believe in God and doesn't want to associate with me, I'm okay with that. I'm not seeking external validation. I am not seeking approval. That's one of the biggest strengths that I have, is not seeking approval from others. Because what happens is when you break the fear from seeking approval, that's when you are able to step into your true, authentic self. So please let me know in the comments or in the chat here or on my podcast if this is resonating with you. Okay. And also forgive yourself. Okay. Forgive yourself of past mistakes, because guess what? You are worthy. You are worthy. Your mistakes do not define you. That was just a life experience. Now, for me, I've invested, hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal development. I was involved in crypto at one time in my life, which was about 4 years ago, and I lost money. And guess what? That's okay. That's an experience. I lost money in a business venture. Lots of money. But that was a learning experience, and I rebounded from that. Okay, so embrace your flaws. And one thing I do want to say is that your self-worth doesn't come from achievements, validation, or perfection. So embrace your flaws, okay? And take off that mask. Take off that mask. It's time to rise above those fears from external sources. Because guess what? If you ask everyone, what is your opinion on this? What is your opinion on that? Not everyone is going to agree with you, and then you end up being confused, and a confused mind does not accomplish anything. It will cripple you for moving forward, okay? So that is what I wanted to talk about today, and let me know in the comments if this podcast episode resonates with you. I would love your feedback on it. So, okay, let me just review everything. So number 1, practice self-compassion. Self-love is the best love. Because when you practice self-compassion and love on yourself, you're able to love other people, okay? But love yourself. Pour into yourself first, because guess what? You cannot pour from an empty cup. And seek connection, deeper, meaningful relationships. And create a safe space so you can be heard, okay? You can join my Facebook group, which is the Domestic Violence for Healing and Empowerment. I have created a safe space for women to talk about how they've escaped domestic violence. And I have given them a voice, because we all have a voice for change. And that's important. And, that goes for confiding in someone, like I know that I have confided in just very few people, okay, with whom I trust. Because I have fought silent battles. And there's a lot of people out there who are fighting silent battles. They don't want to talk to anyone because they've lost that trust. But it's important for you to build up that trust and confidence, okay? And forgive yourself. And when you do all of these things, you will break free from those limiting beliefs, break free from those past relationships, mistakes, and you will be able to live your happiest life ever, okay? So I'm going to end the broadcast right now. This live YouTube video it's already live here, so this will be uploaded on my podcast tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. You can find me on Spotify, Google, and Apple, and my podcast is all about giving women a voice. And I myself, and I have interviewed many women who have shared their real life stories of how they claimed victory from domestic violence. So if you would like to be a special guest on my show, please contact me at Angeline at letsbreakthesilence.com. And if you would like to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel, obviously, Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. We're here live on YouTube. And if you would love to continue to receive resources that will equip and empower you on your healing journey, please, you'll be notified of new podcast episodes, news, and promotions. Go to my website, please, letsbreakthesilence.com, okay? And if you would like to work with me, and if you're feeling overwhelmed, lost, confused, and you're looking to build up your confidence and your clarity, you're looking to get clarity, please reach out to me. Go to letsbreakthesilence.com and please book a call with me. Okay. I am offering right now a 30-minute free coaching session with you. So we're going to, take a deep dive. I want to, learn more about you and learn what your goals are for growth so you can step into your true authentic self, regain your power, and live your happiest life ever. So with that being said, I want to wish you all an amazing day, and God bless you all.